Good morning, guys. It's another day. It's actually a rainy day here, and so I extended my trip another day. But I was playing with my new cards this morning, and I'm really drawn to the Raven's Prophecy Tarot, probably because they're orange and black themes, which is Halloween, which is my birthday. But also, they're just kind of spooky, and I just like the energy and what's the word I'm looking for? They give off this vibe. So I'm actually going to change it this way for you guys. I wanted to go ahead and do a reading here for you guys today before I get started, although I don't know it's going to rain. But I am going for a hot spring soak later. So let's do a little reading for you guys. Now, I have some of you reaching out to me for readings. I am booked up through this week, and I am starting to book up. I'm halfway booked for next week, so if you are wanting a personal reading, it will be the week of August 10th, and I have a few spots available, and then, of course, we'll go on to the next week. I'm offering my twin flame readings, general love readings, in addition to my North Node readings. Now, my North Node readings are the most popular, and they are about your destined path. It's a reading for you and you only, although sometimes I do incorporate some twin flame information in there. But if your twin flame comes through, or if I feel you need to hear what's being said or coming through the cards, but it's a mix of astrology. It's your North Node, South Node of the moon at the time of your birth. And it's also a mix of an intuitive reading as well as cards. So it's a little bit of everything. It's really wildly popular. It's my favorite, my best reading that I've ever offered. And I see myself offering that for a long time to come. So if you're interested, guys, give me a shout out in my email. I won't respond until I get back into town, Wednesday or after, but please know that I will read the emails in the order in which I receive them. Okay, so let's get started. So we're starting with the first row here. Now I checked in with our Divine Masculine's energy, and this first row is his or her 3D reality. So we've got 6 of coins, 4 of wands, and 5 of wands. Now coins is pentacles, so 6 of pentacles, 4 of wands, and 5 of wands. So a lot of fiery, passionate energy. And I feel restlessness coming through these cards. A lot of fire, so restlessness, restless energy, and really the Divine Masculine's feeling the need to get a move on it already. They're really tired of feeling stuck and stagnant where they are. And yet a lot of us have not seen movement, myself included yet, in the 3D. And so a lot of Divine Feminines are feeling really quite frustrated at this time, because we sort of keep on hearing, or the cards keep on telling us, one thing and the 3D looks very different. So we're really being asked to stay and stand in our power, continue doing what you need to do for you, pampering yourself, loving yourself, doing the work, healing, working, to heal yourself in whatever way you feel you need to do to heal the inner child wounds and any sort of unworthiness or abandonment wounds or even codependency that may still be remaining. Now, I will say that a lot of fear is coming up in the collective. So I want you guys to be watching and mindful of any kidney issues. So you might notice like sensitive kidneys at this time. You may also notice, you may be going to the bathroom more than normal. And so you just want to kind of be mindful of these things. Nettle tea is a great nourishing tea to really nourish and filtrate the kidneys. And if you're really interested, you can look into kidney filtration, Dr. Morse, but there's just a lot more to be said about that. So for the sake and intent of this reading, I'll leave it at just really nourish your kidneys at this time, because we are purging and transmuting for the collective's fear. Okay, so let's start with the 6 of Pentacles. Now, this is a card of generosity. This is a card of really being comfortable and happy with your finances, no longer letting your finances dictate or control you. So this is a positive card and a positive change for the Divine Masculines, because up until this point in time, the masculines really were allowing their 3D material world to control them. So I see that there's been some sort of a healing that's happened for this group of Divine Masculines in regards to their money and how they regard money, the importance that they've placed on money in their lifetime, and how they can really switch that up to understand that you can have money and be a very miserable person. And I think that's what these Divine Masculines have realized. I might have money, but I have a broken marriage, or I don't have a healthy relationship with my children, or I don't have time to actually enjoy the money. When was the last time these divine masculines went on vacation? These masculines that I pick up on are workaholic tendencies, and perfectionistic tendencies, controlling tendencies. The way they control their reality is through working through their money and through their riches. And so I do believe that a lot of these masculines have lost some money, whether that's a job, in the form of a paycheck, or it's just that some of them are going into self-employment, and so they're just really understanding and balancing or rebalancing their relationship with money. So I'm really liking this card. We move on to the Four of Wands. So this is a real positive card. This indicates happiness, contentment, marriage, celebration. I mean, what better card could you ask for? However, seeing this in the 3D for the masculines is really interesting. But the way I see this in this particular deck of cards, it talks about resting, like a resting point in stability. So we want to see stability. This is good. So stability with money. So this is really a good thing. They're starting to stabilize their finances, and they're being asked to enjoy this moment. There's more to come. So there's a longer way to go. This is sort of like the first completion, right? The first round. And so they're sort of resting now that they've balanced or rebalanced their relationship with money. So their first completion, they're enjoying it, and yet we see the Five of Wands. So others are questioning their ethics and questioning their motives, and this could very well be a karmic partner, a karmic family, karmic situation, karmic friends, etc., a boss. And so there's a bit of chaos and competition in this Five of Wands. But what I see, this can be external competition or internal competition. I see this as being internal competition for these divine masculines, but I'm also seeing an external competition coming in the form of people saying, why would you quit your job, or why would you choose to move, or why are you changing the way you dress, why are you changing this or changing that? So people are questioning the way they're starting to live their lives. The masculines are starting to live out loud. And what that means is they're no longer living for someone else. They do not care who they offend. They do not care whose feelings they hurt. They're living for themselves. This is why a lot of feminines are not receiving communication at this time, because the masculines need to learn how to be in their power and live for themselves and not for someone else. So they're learning how to be them. And honestly, I can't tell you how many times my own divine masculine said to me, I don't know who I am, I don't have self-love, and I wish I could find, it's funny, he would say in the same sentence he was totally happy with his job, even though he was working himself ragged and sick all the time. Of course, he denied that, but it was true. He was always sick, and like every other month, not sleeping enough, drinking too much, like these sorts of activities that the feminines have really put to rest and laid to rest and put to bed a long time ago, because we've been through those cycles ourselves of addiction and distraction and codependency. But the masculines are, again, waking up from this, and the masculines are no longer trying to distract themselves. They've had plenty of time, and they realize that they cannot distract themselves from themselves. So they're in this state of acceptance. So let's move on to the second row here. Now, what I asked for the second row is really the future energies, or the energies of the 5D, like how they're feeling towards their counterpart. Guys, we got some universal energy here. The universe is assisting these connections with the Lovers card and the Wheel of Fortune. So the wheel is turning. Okay, this is about the destined path. This is about believing in something bigger than oneself. You see the changing of seasons, the changing of the leaves, so things are shifting and changing. Okay, they're telling me now that fall time is significant. I think I've mentioned this in past readings, but it's coming through quite strongly now with this Wheel of Fortune card. Also 10, which reduces to 1. So this is about coming into oneness with oneself, an inner union happening this fall. Now the Lovers card, this is actually quite a beautiful card. I believe this is, antelope or elk, but they're intertwined antlers, and they are, this is about wholeness within. We have the white and the black, or white rainbow and, the black. So this is about two halves becoming whole within oneself. This can indicate coming into union with yourself as well as outer external union. So this is going to be different for everyone. But I love the idea of wholeness within before we can find that external happiness, or as we find that external happiness. They can definitely happen simultaneously, although for most of us, we need to find that internal happiness first. Now we have the Two of Wands, which is about making decisions and planning, looking ahead, goals. So the divine masculines in this particular reading are really, they're no longer, I mean, yes, they're at a crossroads with the Two of Wands, but the wands indicate fast moving energy. And with the universe pushing things along here, pushing the unions, the Lover's card, turning the wheel, right? Fortune is on our side. Good luck, destiny is on our side. This is about the masculines learning to relax and realizing that the universe, has the wheel. And they're not in as much control as they thought they were. So this is about the masculines relinquishing that control that they thought they had. And the Two of Wands to me indicates they are planning behind the scenes. And I know it's hard to believe, guys, because I feel the same way. But, trust that your masculine is on the way, and trust that they are going to communicate and come forward when the time is right. And for a lot of us, that's when we're totally detached and just doing our own thing and really living for ourselves. Okay, so in this final row, guys, we have what's keeping the divine masculines from coming forward. I know this is important. Look at these cards, powerful. Two swords cards, okay? So mental acuity, mental energy. We have, interestingly enough, the Ace of Cups. So this aces are indicative of new beginnings, emotional new beginnings. So what's holding them back quite clearly is fear. I mean, I see fear in this connection, the fear that they're going to be sort of like, this is the fear of imprisonment. Like they're going to be in prison. Like they feel like they just want their freedom with this Eight of Swords. And yet they have to understand that the feminines will never cage the masculines. We never want to cage them. We're free spirits. We're wild women and wild men ourselves. And the last thing we want is for the masculines to feel caged or enslaved in any way, by the connection. And so this is really the masculines fighting their own minds. That's the way I've always seen the Eight of Swords, is sort of like you're fighting your own mind. You might blame it on something external, but it really has to do with the enemy within. The enemy within, which is you. Okay, so it's his or her own mind. That's really his or her worst enemy. So that's what's keeping them from this fresh new beginning with their divine feminine. This is about beginnings in love. So what's keeping them is their own mind. Okay, the fears that they allow to culminate in their mind, that they allow to take over. Now we have the Three of Swords here, and this is about confusion and self-doubt. And what's interesting here is there's sort of like this backstabbing energy. So what's keeping them from coming forward is they want to confess their feelings emotionally, right? They want to come forward emotionally. And yet, interestingly enough, we have the emotion card or emotion suite with the mental suite, right? The swords and the cups. So very different, almost opposing energies. There's a lot of self-doubt. They're afraid and they're in fear. They're in fear energy. They feel also as though maybe the feminine has moved on, because a lot of feminines have really, really detached in some powerful ways, because we've had to, in order to really respect ourselves, love ourselves, take care of ourselves, and really just continue moving our lives forward, coming into our own mission, coming into our own power. So, this indicates heartbreak. I mean, there's no way around the Three of Swords. This is heartbreak. This is betrayal. The masculines know that they betrayed the feminines by choosing a karmic situation. You guys know, if you've listened to my readings before, and if you haven't, you'll be hearing this for the first time. Karmic situations do not have to be partners, although for a lot of people who tune into my channel, they are. But it can be situations, addictions, family members, friends, a job, money, etc. There's basically anything that's getting in the way of the masculines reaching their full potential, and the masculines being able to remove whatever masks they're wearing. So being authentic. So we've got some heartbreak, some betrayal energy here coming in, and the masculines are afraid of reaching out. They're afraid of what the feminine might say or do. Has the feminine moved on? Will he or she still accept me and want me? So there's a lot of energy of heartbreak here for the masculines that they're going to need to overcome in order to move forward. But guys, I hope this reading was helpful. I will be doing some longer readings when I get back into town. I'll be back in the swing of things sometime Wednesday, Thursday. I'll start getting your readings out to you guys, and I'm sending everyone a lot of love, a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, strength, and power. I'll see you guys soon.